Hi, welcome. Shrees here, and I'm showing you a solar output testing example. So this is of the 445 watt panel in the back that is fixed. There's no tilt. It's fixed and it's hooked up, of course, to a Victron MPPT charge controller with Bluetooth, which is how we're able to monitor down to the second, down to the watt, and using this software. So on the left-hand side where it says 2 days, that column, it said 3.14 watt hour, WH watt hours. So that's the total output that was generated from that panel alone, on this day, which is, well, actually it was 2 days ago, so that would have been August 10th, and this is a recording from August 12th, and it's currently about 11 a.m. And you can see two different numbers there, and I'm going to explain what those are. So 356 is what the watt output was, and then just a minute or two later we're up to 382, which is about a 7% increase, and that's a really big boost. And this is from part of the invention that I'm in the patent filing stage right now, which I'm calling circular solar. And there's a few things to it. There's also a low-tech direct air capture and emissions reduction part to this invention. So we're looking to partner this with certain mining companies, utility providers, large solar developers. Outside of those industries, if I had to pick, waste management or Republic Services, who are focusing on utilizing landfills into solar projects called bright fields. Anyhow, so what you're watching here is now about 40 minutes later, we're up to 407 watts. And of course that would increase just based upon the sun's direction. But what you just saw there was it was higher and it was about 399 and then it popped down to 387. And what happened there is I did the simulation of removing the materials and then put them back, and we're back up to 403. And then we're kind of going more to the max output of the day in the low to mid 400s. And this is a utility scale panel. As I mentioned before, this is in a fixed position. If you were to add tracking, those kind of percentage differences could be held throughout the day. And so in some cases, these panels can operate with energy yields over the course of the day of 5 to 15%, sometimes even 20%. And the upfront capex, of course, is more. And then what we're looking to offer to companies like yours is you can hire us on a contract basis, and we can help you plan how to use your materials in a circular fashion to optimize your solar projects for generating solar, and hopefully too for a battery, maybe a lithium based or a liquid metal based storage battery. Here you're looking at down at the nav station, I'm pointing out one of the MPPT charge controllers. So these convert, you're able to control this. You can convert the voltage. So in this case, is actually for the smaller panels that I use. I have 3 arrays, and this is the other array that I do testing with. And so it takes 4 about 80 watt panels, and they are up to 22 volts. However, my house bank and my house system is a 12 volt system, so it has to be converted down. And so those ABYC compliant marinized cables, they go to that bus bar over there. It's a very fancy bus bar, and it has a smart shunt attached to it, again, where I can track every watt where it comes and goes, and down to the second. That you just saw was the inverter charger, and then the servo, where I'm able to see where a lot of the watts are going as far as appliances, AC appliances that work through the inverter. That's the house bank. That's a small lithium iron phosphate house bank, LFP with Bluetooth. There's Bluetooth built into those cells. You can actually monitor each cell, what's going on there, which is awesome. Everything might look a little bit beefier versus other small microgrid systems that you've seen because this is marinized. And I'm also using various high loads. As an example, I shower off the grid, and I use a hot water heater that will take as much as 1400 watts for heating the water. I use an induction cooktop. a 2-burner induction cooktop, which anywhere I can control from 400 to 1500 watts. This is a fast charger, also run on AC for charging. This 48 volt LFP, this is highly marinized. As you can see, it's in a steel case and whatnot. And this is a 40 amp hour at 48. So it's about 2050 watt hours. And that fast charger can recharge, if it were taken down to 0, which I wouldn't. But anyway, believe it charges it in 2.5 hours, which is pretty quick for a 48 volt boat battery. Anyhow, so one thing that's great, good and bad, this boat gets so dirty where it's located. We have a lot of breeze, we have a ton of emissions here, and it's really handy for testing the whole emissions part and whatnot, but it's a pain in keeping up on cleaning, and I hate filming and seeing all the crumbs and stuff. But anyway, sorry you had to see that. Now you're about to see how the throttle works via Bluetooth wireless. I can actually dock the boat off of the dock, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to let you listen to how it sounds engaging the motor and when it goes into reverse. So in a nutshell, I can test your materials on how they alter solar output and then how that affects electric loads for appliances to even an electric vehicle propulsion type of scenario. I'm going to let you listen to the electric outboard now. 250 watts. I'm going to go in reverse and I'll let you see the